Alright, hello, I am Eon here with Zelda 2, The Legend of Zelda 2 Link No Bouken, which is the Famicom Disk System version of Zelda 2 The Adventure of Link. So, gonna go ahead and get started here. I will give a countdown. It actually, time starts on control, so gonna go ahead and hit start here, and it will be more or less 3, 2, oh no wait, it's gotta go through this now. 3, 2, 1, go. So, yeah, it's...
What a meme. Is this where we... 100% old keys? Back to Is this the main one of the one? That's the first one. I think it's all keys, yeah. I'm not a Zelda, so I don't know. Is this where we sign up for
So, Messed Up Magic Cave, we're coming here first because it's the least out of the way. But basically now the plan is we need to go up to get a heart container and then go to Palace 1. So, fairy spawns, don't like that. That is not ideal. But the fairies are very random in their movement, and so they can mess up any overworld walk. Got that because of it took too long in the magic cave, so was not on a favorable frame leaving the cave. So now we're gonna wait. Okay, got those spawns. You may notice some differences from the NES version, like for one, this water right to my right is animating. Alright, get that? We're effectively just took an encounter to skip the bubble encounter, which we'll see on the way back. Gonna go here, get the heart container. So another obvious thing, was able to take attack as my first level at 50 XP. Can't do that on the NES version. I also stabbed the heart to collect it instead of holding it over my head. So some minor differences there. The overworld spawns look very different. They're the ghosts rather than actually looking like real enemies. Oh, and I messed that walk up. I went a little too early, so we're gonna just keep going. And there we made it into Palace 1, and we have to wait. These are load times because this is a Famicom Disk System game. It actually has to load data off of the disk. So we're actually playing on a flash cartridge, but it's emulating the disk system. So here we go into Palace 1.
Space Ghost.
With this, the goal is if I get favorable drops, I can leave Palace 1 with attack 7. But hopefully we'll get that. If we don't, we'll leave with attack 6, which is still very good. The goal is basically we're going full glass cannon build here, and we want to. Okay. Missed that one. So we want to get power level attack to level 8 so we can kill enemies as quickly as possible. Then we'll spread around the love on the levels to magic and life after that. This is a 1cc category, but also because of the way the level system works in this, you don't really want to take game overs anyway. Because your game overs will reduce all of your levels to your lowest level. So if I'm at, say, 8-2-1, and I take a game over, then I will be at 1-1-1 for all my levels. Thankfully, the XP needed for the next level does reset to the appropriate level as well, but it is a bit of a pain. So, here we go, into the attic. Okay, well now I don't know what the hammer pattern's going to be. Those tin suits will take XP from you on the NES version. They do not on this version, which is really nice. So, attack 3 is nice because now bots die in one hit. So, all right, there we go. Now here, there's a neat, you'll see me stab the wall here, which is shifting Link's position back to the right, which manipulates the spawn position of this skull bubble coming up here to make it a little bit easier to get through without taking a hit. Still took a bop, but if you have beams, you can shoot a low beam at that bot. Again, same thing, stabbing that wall to manipulate these bubble spawns here. So we can do that. I'm gonna jump over that one. And then we're in the clear after this final bubble. Bots are coming up on the bot bridge, but being able to take them out in one hit makes it so much nicer. All right, and here we go into the candle room. So everyone loves this category because we do get the candle. Most categories do not get the candle, and dark caves are scary, so got the candle, no longer have to worry about dark caves. We will see some, well, the bosses, so Horsehead does have a roar if Horsehead stays alive long enough to hear that. We will hear the roar later with other bosses, but because of the expansion audio, there is some really cool enemy sound effects that you'll hear. A lot of people don't like the sword stab sound effect on the walls in this one, but it is really neat that you get. Okay, so we got a P-bag. That means attack 7 is alive. Just need one more 200 bag to get attack 7. That's a 50-50 drop. Happens every 6 enemies on these large, there's 2 drop groups, technically 3, but one of them is a no drop. And we need, every 6 enemies there's a drop. It's a 50-50 chance on the large enemies between a red jar, which fully refills your magic, and a 200-point P-bag, and we really want that 200-point P-bag, so fingers crossed.
Always room for that.
Okay, so we're attack 6, no worries. Just don't want to die to Horsehead here. And there, we did not get the roar, sorry about that. All right, collected the key. And here we go, placing the gem. First gem of 6 that we have to place. Once we place those, we can remove the barrier, also known as the binding force, from the Great Palace. All right, and got a nice skip without bonking coming out of there, so that's really good. Avoiding these enemy spawns. There's a lot of interesting tech around the overworld movement and avoiding the encounters. That's also a little bit difficult to explain while also running the game. I'll try to do my best as I can, but if you're one tile above an enemy like that, typically you can walk past them just fine. And so that's what we try to do. All right, in here getting the trophy so we can get the jump spell. That was not good, accidentally hit the pause button. All right, so one of the nice things about having such a high attack level is enemies die really fast, so that means you don't really lose much time to combat in this version compared to the NES version. Almost messed up that walk, but made it. And so here we go into Ruto, which is the town where we get the jump spell. Technically I should refill my health in here, but I'm not gonna. So also the NPCs walk back and forth without pausing at all on this version, which is different from the NES version. Makes talking to some of the enemies, the NPCs, a little bit more difficult. coming in here to get our first spell of the game, the jump spell. Dialogue is in Japanese. Yeah. That's that FM synthesis chip getting those wonderful sounds. So, and here we go, leaving town. Everyone loves the wait load screens. Super good. And here we go into Jump Cave, so-called named because you need the jump spell to navigate it properly. So, all right. Ah, dang it. Okay, and here we go, casting the jump spell. And we are golden through here. So now we gotta go find Bagoo, everyone's favorite. The fun thing about Bagoo, there's also the character everyone knows, Error, who has the well-known dialogue of "I am Error." Oh, I needed to walk up. That's fine. Was gonna take an encounter regardless. Bagoo was actually a bad translation of the word bug, and it was supposed to be like programmer humor, having two characters, Error and Bug. So it's not actually, like, Error being his name is part of a joke that didn't really translate very well. Unfortunately. So here we go into... this bridge is kind of annoying. These Bago Bago or Trollfish are spawning nicely there. Oh my goodness, did not want to take that pop. But did not die, which is good, and we can refill health in town up here, so... gonna go ahead and do that. Sorry for beep strats here. We're gonna have to do everyone's favorite side quest of finding the mirror under the table. So there's a neat thing, if you let off the D-pad there and hold up, you can get in on the very first pixel of the door, which spawns you to the right edge of the door rather than the left and saves a few frames. There's not a lot to do in town, so trying to optimize those frames can be kind of fun and not really... it's sort of a low-risk way to shave a couple frames off that's kind of fun to do. So here we go, getting the life spell. So trying to let off the D-pad there so I can turn around more quickly afterwards, because you don't actually lose your momentum when you go into that dialogue there. So just another little minor optimization, but sometimes I let off the D-pad too early. So... but now we're going to everyone's favorite Death Mountain, which is having attack 6 now, and soon to have attack 8. It will, or 7, it will actually be much easier, even though I have Magic 1 and Life 1. It will be much easier than it is on the NES version. Because most of the enemies will die very, very quickly, so... and we're gonna have 2 loads here, one loading the overworld as we leave, and then another loading the new overworld when we transition between the West Continent and Death Mountain. Alright, here we go. And so we're just slicing through these enemies. That's why we like high attack in here. Okay, gonna skip this guy. Oh, messed up, lost my beams, which is really unfortunate. Okay, well, that was not ideal, but still worked out. Okay, take attack 7 here. Next hit I take, I will cast life. Life fills up 3 boxes of health. So, getting all these tinks. Okay, made it through damageless in that room, which is good. These bots can be a bit of a pain in here. Of course, you come down and bot me, that bot there. So I think there's 1 extra bot in that room compared to the NES version. Lots of rooms have extra enemies in this version as compared to the NES version, so a little bit annoying, but... Okay, there we go. Not ideal, but still doing good. So these are bits. This is the only room we'll see them in. Bits are sweeties. He was not wanting to get out of my way, though. Okay, got a good P-bag drop. Oh, we'll take that, too, I suppose. This means we'll get attack 8 very early. Oh, I was hitting select, not start. I gotta remember my button layout on the hitbox, so... So yes, I am also playing on a hitbox, not an NES controller, because I started doing it because of RSI issues, so... But this is still on console, so... Which is super fun to be able to do. Yes, so... Here we go into... Oh, dang, it's a little late on that beam, unfortunately. And here we go. Into here, we're gonna get a drop on this orange Dyra coming up in the next room, and that Mew you really want to avoid. You can actually do it, stab it with a falling crouch stab, but it's really difficult to get. Okay, got a red jar, which is fine. That being able to refill our health is good. Got the hammer there, and gonna refill to get beams back, because we will be getting in Spectacle Rock. So this is an overworld area here. Death Mountain actually contains a copy of the Zelda 1 map, if you pay attention. And so Spectacle Rock is right where Ganon was in Zelda 1, and what's left inside of there is just a magic container now when we break it open, which is super cool. Neat touch that they did that. And there we go. So that is good. We are on our way to getting another level up here very shortly. So okay, got our magic container, refilled our magic. All right, and made it through without an encounter. That's a fun little manipulation. Carries over a bit from the NES version. I hit B then A instead of A then B, so yeah. So that's why I took that damage, but that's okay.
It's okay, she'll be fine.
So yes, gotta load back to the Western continent. We are done with Death Mountain. And so having attack 8 is nice because everything at this point in the game is only 1 hit. That'll change when we get to the Eastern continent. But most everything is just 1 hit, and it is super nice to just cut through everything. We're gonna take life 2 to refill our life. And then we're probably gonna put a bunch of our levels into magic here pretty soon. So going up here for a strat called the Boulder Dash. I want to take an encounter. Oh, I messed that up, so gonna probably have to do... oh no, well, here we go. We got the encounter, so that's the Boulder Dash encounter. What that does is there are 2 encounter timers. One is frame-based and one is step-based. that makes them line up right there, so we get both of those spawns. So then we can avoid them easily and make it to the cave without an encounter. So one of the more reliable things in the game, overworld walks. Oh, I tried to jump over that. That's fine. It is one of the more reliable ones, but fairies can always mess it up because fairies' movement is very random. Alright, so that was the Water of Life, which we need to get the fairy spell, and typically the game you would do Palace 2 before going to Death Mountain. I think that was the intention, because Death Mountain is a big difficulty spike. But we like to get the experience, we like to do things a different way, and so now we are able to take that. Okay, did that slink there to avoid the spawns, so we are good. We'll probably get an encounter on the path up here, but that is fine. They'll spawn right there. And now we are going into town. So this is where we get the down stab technique, which is probably the most important thing that we get in this town. Since I have to stab items to collect them, I cannot collect them as a fairy in the way that you do in the NES version. But there's no fanfare to skip, so it doesn't really matter that way. It makes the fairy spell a little bit less useful in this version. Down stab sword technique is super good, and we love it. Oh right, you have to talk to him, I forgot. The wizards initiate the dialogue themselves. The swordsmen, you have to initiate the dialogue yourself. And sometimes when you're on autopilot, especially doing commentary, it's easy to forget that, oh, I need to press the button to actually talk to this person. Gonna go ahead and skip this because we have a magic refill right at the entrance of Palace 2. We also have a drop coming up on the way to the heart container, so that will, we will get our health and magic both refilled very soon. So I did not let off the D-pad there, so I will try to do a sword cancel turnaround. And which I got, which is nice. So that's actually, I think, the most efficient way to turn around, but it is also a little bit tricky. So, because when you stab your sword on the ground, it does kill your momentum. That's why I try to do most of my combat jumping and like falling, standing stabs, falling, crouch stabs, etc. So.
Technique names. Wait, what's the month?
Yeah, okay, and there we go. Made that walk good. It took that extra step just so we would get the spawns where we wanted, and made it in without an encounter, so. And here we go. That's nice, getting the P-bag. We don't really, like on the NES version, you want the jar there so that you can fairy this heart. But we can't fairy the heart, so I'd rather have the XP, and I'll refill my magic at the Palace 2 entrance, so. And we're also very close to a Magic 2 level up, so another fun thing. Alright, so here is a very random walk. Okay. So we're going to take an encounter on the path because I had to take 2 steps north there to avoid encounters. If I only had to walk 1 step north, then I would be able to get through without an encounter there. But that's okay, we're going to see. He random walked up, that's fine. So should be scot-free into the palace now, which we are, so 1.5 encounters, that's about average. We treat the path encounters as path encounters, so. Same with fairies because they're only 1 screen wide. And so elevators, you may notice, are quite a bit slower in this version compared to the NES version. You may also notice that this looks like Palace 1, but we're in Palace 2. They do not have different, they don't, all of those cool Palace palettes that were in the NES version were actually introduced in the NES version, so. Yeah.
Death from above right there.
Yeah, no, that's a super fun way to do this room. It's even actually more fun on the NES version because it's more hits and you can just cut through it like butter if you do it the most efficient way. But it's a super fun room to do and execute well. Aw, dang it. Bots are jerks. Their movement is random, and anytime you see bots near lava, be scared. So, okay, that's fine. We'll take care of those enemies later. Normally on the NES version, I'd be trying to skip enemies. Here, because the enemies are one hit, I actually want the levels. So, as long as I don't have to go out of my way to get the kill, I'm gonna go for the kill. Because like a one-hit kill does not slow you down. So, and there we go. So, going on up, got our keys. I should probably explain this category as well. So it's 100% all keys, 1 credit clear. So basically we need to get, there's no ferrying through keys or through doors allowed in this category. So we have to collect all the keys in order to go through the doors. And then we need to get all the spells, all the palace items, all the overworld permanent items, all the sword techniques, heart containers, magic containers, etc. Place all the gems, beat all the bosses. It's effectively a glitchless category, although some people may argue the definition of glitchless. But it is largely meant to be a glitchless category. And then it's basically, I've seen it described as casual done quick. It's basically we're playing the game more or less the way you would play it casually, but really fast. So, which is kind of fun to see. I know some people don't like glitchy speedruns. I disagree with them, but I also understand where they're coming from. They want to see the game the way that they experienced it. People get intimidated by doing glitches. I get it. But it is a fun category, especially the Famicom Disk System makes it very interesting. We just got the glove, which means we can break blocks now, so, which is important. You can't actually get to the boss without the glove. So, here we go. We cannot kill, this is the MOA, we joke about it being an impossible kill on the NES version. It is actually an impossible kill on this version because you don't go fast enough to be able to get to it, so, down the elevator shaft. Okay, so going now through here. At this point, I don't need any more kills because I can't get another level before the boss, so that's why I'm skipping stuff.
That's rude.
So here we go, little hesitation to downstab over that skull bubble. And then we come here, gonna try to do a neat thing. Nope, I messed up the jump. That's fine. Wanted to cast the life spell there, so. But there's a neat trick you can do jumping. It's a really precise jump, but you can jump through the hammers there. I was gonna try to do that. Did not actually handle it. This elevator goes too slow to skip this Doom Rattler coming up here, which you can do on the NES version. but we still got through like butter. So that was less than ideal how I navigated that crumble bridge section, but that's okay. Just gonna skip that enemy because we don't really care. We'll take out this enemy because it's faster than trying to skip him, and then we'll skip this last IK. And here we go into the helmet head fight. So this will be a quick one. That was a little less than ideal. Didn't want to take that damage, but forgot to press back to do the reverse stab there. But here we go, placing gem number 2. So we have one more spell to collect on this continent before we go to the final eastern or western continent palace. So heading here. Okay, going up. Oh, he tracked me down anyway. Okay. Also,
Yeah, today we got started later.
is that a Cubs behind me? Oh, it's an LOZ. Okay. I was talking to Cubs Rule earlier, and he said he was going to try to show up as well. So seeing the reflection in the screen, I thought maybe it was Cubs.
No pressure, baby.
So,
The rest of my week is relaxing.
oh, well, hello,
But yeah, my only
welcome. Just doing some Famicom Disk System Zelda 2. Thank you. So now, this is technically supposed to be the first spell that you get. We are getting it as the last spell on the Western continent. It is the shield spell. Basically, why we're doing this is it makes two things. At the very beginning when I did that bubble skip, it makes that a lot more reliable and consistent. It also makes this walk to Palace 3 that I'm about to do also much more reliable. So it's a twofold reason why we delay this later. So, oh, I need to queue up Fairy Spell. So, and then we will, yeah, Palace 3 is a fun one. This one does actually have, it's the same tile set, but it is a different color, so, but it is not the red color that you're used to from the NES version. We got that skipped, so gonna try something a little bit fancy here. Oh, I messed up the timing. I forgot when that was actually gonna spawn, so I did not get to slink it to avoid it into this. That's okay. Did not take any damage. Didn't lose that much time.
Okay, we're a fairy now. We're out.
Yes. Okay, so now, that's one of the reasons why you need the fairy spell in this run. You cannot get here without that. So now we're gonna wait for a spawn and avoid it and make our way cleanly to Palace 3. All right, got the magic refill. Things are looking good. Okay, and then I'm gonna just take some enemies out that... Come on! How did those stabs miss? I call shenanigans.
Hello, shenanigans on the phone.
Nice.
I do what I can.
So you saw me turning backwards there with some down stabs to manipulate those tin suits to spawning behind me, which makes things much easier to do in that room, particularly with those Mews on the floor. So, gonna go ahead, get this key.
Power drill, damn thing.
Okay. And then, okay, if I can break that block, then 4 tile jump. caught by the toenails. So, 4-tile jumps are very tight.
Look out.
And got the 200-point P-bag, so... my next level will probably be life. Can't neglect that. I do have a specific level route that I like to stick to on this, but there is a little bit of room for improvisation. That's why bots are dangerous, so... Okay.
We have full health, we have fireball.
Yes. Okay, so now here we'll take life 3. And... Alright. It is. You just... The mistake people make on those jackhammers is they start mashing down too early. You gotta wait until you're in there before you start doing the mash. You'll get ejected if you mash too early. So... Okay, here manipulating these Mao heads to come spawn behind me, which clears out a bunch of bots up here and just makes the room a bit easier to deal with, so... And there we go, 444.
Nice slot machine.
Yeah. Alright. This is the first of 3 Minecraft rooms you'll see in the game. So-called because we have to go mining to get the key.
You have to mine to craft.
Yes.
Love that.
And so... That red Stalfos, that first one, is not in the NES version. And here we go, so... on to... I love that you can break those blocks in a really efficient way and wall in the blue iron knuckle, so you don't have to deal with them. And now here we are on to the Rebenak fight, or Rebel Knuckle, and...
God.
So, not the cleanest fight, but still pretty quick.
All I gotta ask is, why is there 4 more frames in animation than you do?
There is not a 301 math glitch in this game, which is unfortunate. I'll keep it on... I don't know. Actually, I probably should have kept it on Fairy. We're gonna go Magic 5. Alright, so here we go. Wait for the spawn. Oh, back spawn, nice. So that means we can get all the way perfectly clean. Oh, I kind of wanted that bag, but I'm not... Actually, not really. I'm not going back for that bag. It's too much time lost, and, Alright, there we go. So... Got a back spawn there, which is nice. Only so much I could do there. I needed to get up to the path and was being blocked out, so... but here we are in the Eastern Continent, so... That is a different sprite for Link riding the raft on this version. Just narrowly avoided that encounter. And here we go into the connector cave. Beams are essential in this cave to deal with those Aikman, so... Alright. Okay, there we go. Got our... And of course you walk down. Okay. So we have to go collect the kidnapped child. And just a fair warning, the child is tied up. We are cutting the binds holding the child. We are not stabbing the child. We do not advocate that.
We'll confirm.
So, nice thing, you don't have to worry about that Lizalfos getting all up in your business on this version.
No, because there's no. Hey, look what I got animation.
Yes. Although, I think, do I have jump or life queued up? I should check. I guess there's no real reason to, yeah. Gonna do fairy claws rather than super jump. Okay, so this is the Dazzle Walk, named after Zelda 2 speedrunner Dazzle. It is a very consistent walk, though I was really worried about those fairies that spawned.
You're welcome.
And we got to the first encounter skip. It's a very long walk that is quite tricky to do without using that manipulation. So with the manipulation, it's pretty easy. So, and it's one of the more consistent walks we have in the game. All right, so now full health, full magic. Not gonna bother doing shenanigans to refill magic. Just gonna come in here, do the fairy claws. All you need to do is hold down the down button on the D-pad so you're crouching when you cast the fairy spell, and that saves the crouched state into the fairy state, and then you can get into the chimney. Otherwise, you have to either do the super jump, which is a pretty precise jump, or you have to like walk past it, jump up a lower roof, then jump back to the right, and it's a long way to go just for that. So fairy claws or super jump are the way to go, because you have to go all the way to this building right there to be able to get back onto the roof to go down the chimney as Link. Not sure why I jumped there, but okay. I am still adjusting. I'm playing on Hitbox, still kind of adjusting to it, so I do have some input errors that you probably noticed throughout the run, but it is overall going pretty well. Cannot complain about... so, you may have noticed the spell we just got is called Reflex, with an X. On the NES version, they changed that to Reflect. Yes, so speaking to that townsperson is a buffer so that I get these overworld spawns into a home in on Link state rather than a random walk state, so that I can more easily skip this encounter. And that is the same reason why I do these stab buffers here. So they are buffers to get the overworld spawns. So that was bad. We got the back spawn instead of with the fairies. That means we gotta wait and try again, because it is, I believe, frame perfect to get that encounter skipped with a back spawn like that, and I just totally messed up my inputs there. That's okay. Going for this walk now, and oh, I hit the hammer instead of the pause button to read those spawns, but I don't think I had anywhere I could go. Getting all of these fairy spawns, it is not good. I'm gonna wait here for this spawn. So slinks are much simpler and easier on, you have a much wider window to get them on the Famicom Disk System version. I think the overworld encounters have smaller hitboxes, and that's the reason for it. So But it is still really nice to pull off a slink.
Tiny princess must explain. Come on.
Okay.
I apologize if I triggered that anyway.
Alright, so I did take one death earlier that I did not mean to. So I will try. I'm gonna actually try to skip 2 death abuses in Palace 4. Just because of trying to be marathon safe here. Don't want to get to the end of the game and have to take a game over, so. Exactly, yeah, you need, they're only vulnerable to fire on the NES version, so. LOZ Cards fan behind me is giving some commentary, not sure if the lapel mic is picking it up, so gonna repeat some things maybe and you might hear it twice. Alright, so this is the only palace that actually has an enemy in the first room like that, which is kind of weird.
Like, people still talk about it, and I have no way to do about it more, but I'm shocked at how side by side of Volubility Man City have
Alright, so you do quick, late down stabs to jump over those enemies, and you can down stab through them if they jump up like that, so that's the most efficient way to do that. Gonna try to do this here. Okay, toenail jump there, but because I'm trying to avoid death abuses, not using jump on that, so. Okay, got that, and I don't have time to refill my life, that's fine. But that red jar was a little nice thing. Should be able to get through to take a death abuse in the final one of those 3 lava rooms like that, so.
I heard runner in the house.
Alright, come in here. I don't have beams, so that doesn't work. I'm used to having beams there. So. Got the boots, because with boots I could walk on water. Oh, shoot. Okay.
Okay, so if that's the case, then I guess like your ACP 2020.
Oh, did I get it again? Hey, skip the crumble bridge by the rebound on there. That is some good swag.
I was the one in charge of all your stuff. And after,
right.
After I went to bed, Mom took over and then Cypher.
Oh.
First. Dude, Tom was my soldier that year, man. But he also ran Bad Scissors Day, and that was perfect. He even gave us the U and L.
Okay, we're okay.
Okay. Yes, well, I remember not it's so long ago now, but I remember them saying something like that.
Oh, fifth, okay. Okay, so I can actually. I do have enough I can cast light, so. Gonna do that just to survive. So the second of the 3 Minecraft rooms that will appear in the run. And both of those went pretty cleanly, so cannot complain.
So like, this is my favorite story about Colin, because like, Colin can talk mad shit. I don't talk shit most of the time, but he got me to do it.
Alright, so riding this really long elevator back up, and now you may have noticed this palace is kind of divided into 2 halves. And so we cleared out the right half, and now it's time to go to the left half. so...
The nice mainstays are like being Scotty.
Okay.
So calm, do good, and infinite.
And I believe I queued up jump spell, so... That's not ideal, but that's okay.
Calm comes in voice chat.
Alright. Okay, so, yeah, I'm gonna... We'll do that, we'll take that.
Why did they do the 2-minute thing, dog? Calm just go, he's cool.
So...
Dude, it is so toxic, but it's so funny.
So, taking that magic level up, I thought I was going to put it to life, but taking the magic level up is good. Refills magic. We're in really good shape here. We'll take this final death abuse coming up in this next room, so... Alright. Cast jump. You always want to cast jump in this room in particular. These unicorn heads will give you a lot of trouble if you don't.
He wasn't even bad.
Alright, so there we go. Intentional death abuse.
Heck.
And...
Oh, that's dope. Okay.
So, missed the first backward spawn on those tin suits.
100% all keys. The content. Keon also very good.
I love that the flame there absorbs your beam. I don't know if you noticed that, but that's always fun. So here we go, going to...
he has the most content creative things.
So here we go. This is a fun little thing. There's a couple extra enemies coming up here, and this is really neat. Just how you can take both of those enemies out at once. Gonna go ahead, cast shield as well, just because this boss is
he has the best.
Worse than the NES version.
With the headset on and dark lighting.
I can't even get to the left corner where we usually stand. The NES version now has some manipulations. I plan to put some effort into determining if I can do similar manipulations on the Famicom Disk System version, but I just have not had the time to do that yet, so hopefully that fight will become much better in the future. Yeah, so the NES version has 64 patterns. The manipulation reduces it to 8 patterns. And then you can read and react those 8 patterns. I don't know the math for the FDS version, but I imagine it's something similar. But the spawns are much worse on this version, as every runner will tell you. So now we can walk on the water, which makes leaving Maze Island much easier. And we walk on the water here. Slight deviation in the route compared to the NES version. I'm actually going to get the heart container up here before Palace 5, so... just because by doing this, it's slightly faster because I can get my Palace 5 gem level up in town, which will save me about a second and a half on a shorter fanfare for the level up. So, and we're coming up on everyone's favorite trick. It's a terrible trick known as the Ego Key. It's a damage boost, and it is... Oh, come on. That's on me entirely. Wow, twice I messed up those kills. So we use the jump spell here. Just barely missed it, so you try to damage boost off of that skull bubble to get up there without having to cast the fairy spell. So now we have to walk back. It costs about 12 seconds to walk back. And And then here we go. We are all set in this palace. So needed that to be able to get through this locked door coming up here. And I don't have a drop set up. We despawned the second iron knuckle. Very interesting. I don't know if I've seen that before. I imagine the dripper spawning the bot had something to do with that. Okay, don't want to... Oh, come on. Okay. Casting a jump spell here. Okay, so this block room went okay. I didn't execute it as good as I could have.
Time for some bubble bubble too.
Oh, and we'll take that, So, things are good. We want to actually kill a bunch of stuff in here to get an additional life level. Would like to leave this palace at 875. So, alright, so that was good, and now we are coming up in the next room on the a Horsehead Refight, which was removed from the NES version, which is a travesty. So, there we go, double hit to take out Horsehead. You blink and you miss it. As a consequence, so this game does not have Boss Guma, which we have in the NES version. We actually get a beefed up helmet head fight, so, which is actually a pretty interesting fight. If you've ever, like, like the concept of helmet head is my absolute favorite, but in the speedruns, you tend to have too much attack and you take them out before the fight gets interesting. If you do this Palace 5 helmet head at attack 1, it becomes a very, very interesting fight because the helmets that fly off actually come into play and become an obstacle and a challenge. So I always recommend people try low attack runs of this game because they are super fun.
I can't just go down back.
So, I would definitely say, yeah, that Helmet Head is a really cool boss. Oh, that is, you just don't get to see how cool he is in the speedrun.
Can't count the guardians.
But the neat thing is, this beefed up Helmet Head is effectively the same fight as the Attack 5 Helmet Head is in Palace 2 on the NES version. So, alright. Thing a lot of people don't realize if you don't speedrun this game is... Oh, went the wrong way through the menu, but there is a red jar right there, so...
If it wasn't reported before it...
And you can actually, you can vote, because the hitboxes don't line up between the breakable block and the jar spawn, you can spawn the jar without breaking the block, or you can break the block without spawning the jar, or you can do both. But it's really kind of neat how that works out, and a lot of people don't realize. So beams are nice in this room because then we can stun those skull bubbles.
Actually, well, Chicago better than Pittsburgh, but not better than. But I'd rather
all right.
Chicago now. Yeah, Chicago has to do
Yeah. I also grew up using White Sox fans. He stayed in the top here. Really bad. The last time we were good at
Don't really.
they were amazing.
Okay, well that was less than ideal, but we are good to be able to leave here with life 5, so... Oh, and that's a nice red jar spawn, or drop. So... I'm gonna just... I don't really need it, but I'm gonna go ahead and refill my life. Actually, collect that jar. Alright, so coming up here on the Helmet Head refight after this last room. Alright, so this fight should be good. Yeah.
That's why they raised the
Yep. Oh, come on. The key ate my beam, but didn't give me the sword collection. Yeah.
Trying to catch those one exception. It's like the key is got all it's all greased up with butter. And
yeah, it's basically the hitbox is a very small horizontal line of pixels. I really want to find where that is in the code and make a patch to improve the hitbox, just because that would be fun. So here, that was a shorter fanfare than normal, so we saved about a second. That's even more pronounced on the NES version, where we take 4 level ups in here. Okay. So we got that. So I have to get the water for the thirsty woman. I maintain she's under house arrest. Alright, so we got the fire spell, everyone's favorite spell.
more so in this version.
Yes. Fire is actually a nice substitute if you don't have beams.
Right.
But I understand why people give it a hard time, so... gonna read a sign here to buffer some time for our first fence skip, so... Okay. Back spawn is good. And free and easy. It's not really free, nor is it easy. Neat thing here, you can fly up above the Wilsons here, and they cannot throw up above them in the FDS version, so you are home free. Alright. So those stabs were a manipulation for an overworld boss coming up right here, so I don't have to waste time ducking into a bridge, so... Alright, and we are home free to this cave. So normally we would cast fire in this cave, but we don't really need to.
First off, throw is my favorite. Their fun ability is to
Okay, I did that poorly, that's fine, I don't need that XP. We do have some swag coming up here, though, potential for swag. With beam wraps to collect some items. So, 2 chances at it, it saves time if you get it. So let's hope we get it. these items in the basements of this town are the only items that you can collect with your beams. So it's kind of neat. I haven't really practiced the beam wraps recently, so my chances for success are probably pretty slim. But I'm going to show off another neat thing that only makes sense to do on the FDS version, which is we are going to ferry out the gables. So don't have to walk. Wait. Oh, yeah, there we go. I meant to jump and I forgot what buttons were. But you can just ferry out the top there and save a little bit of time. Gotta queue up the spell here. There is a frame rule on this spawn, and I got the perfect pixel for the fastest spawn of this building, so...
Happy for you.
Oh, that was wrong, so... But there, we collected it with the beam anyway, still saved a little bit of time over walking the whole way, so... that was the magical key, which you need in Palace 6. So, we have one more heart container, or magic container, to collect that we can attempt to beam wrap. So that's the final attempt at a beam wrap coming right up here. So that's what I need to do is... Okay. And I was too late on the stab. The ground ate my beam, so... But those low beams, you have to be very late on the stab anyway. It's a very small window for when you can actually do that stab and successfully get the low beam. Alright, so now making our way back through this connector cave and on to Palace 6 with one small detour to get a heart container. And time for everyone's favorite Tektite math. Although made a bit easier because we can kill the Tektites.
What's up, two?
Alright, so that's good. 1, 2. Alright, and got the slinks
Once the dialogue comes up,
and
it's
made
like,
it through.
It's amazing, but it's still like, hang on, I gotta readjust my brain. Who expects it?
Don't do it? Okay.
Tell me what to do.
I was talking to the overworld enemy. You can do whatever you want, Elrock.
Oh, I was talking to Big last week.
Oh, okay.
I will comment that Eon throwing shade is the best. it's so subtle.
The Cardinals must be the most fraudulent current playoff team because they have a -40 run differential. They really were so bad. Until Mother's Day. Mother's Day finally played.
Okay. Alright, coming through WizCon. And so that was a heck of a WizCon. Missed him with my beam there. Oh. That was less than ideal, but we'll make it work. Okay, so now we're on our first of 2 Rebenek refights, so... Link has no mouth. Yeah, if you notice, Link has no mouth on this version of the game, which is also kind of fun. Yeah.
I get behind that.
Alright, so we have another chance at a red jar. Hope we get it, because I would kind of like to refill my health. But gonna... Okay. Okay, that is good. Feeling a lot better about this palace now. Okay, and... Alright, only missed one 4-tile jump, so cannot complain about that. And... back at WizCon. So nice last time, we're coming back. I was in a real bad spot there with those spawns. Oh, and of course I messed that up. So, once again, health not good. Okay. Oh, I was way too far left to get the ceiling walk there, so... Okay.
I did hear that. I didn't know.
Okay. There's an extra whiz robe in this room, and I hate it. Okay. Got the fairy queued up. Alright, there we go. Through there. Just one more Revenak fight, and then on to Volvagia, which is technically the same boss as Barba, but I forgot the down stab there. I did an up stab instead. But it's a different sprite and different enemy AI on the boss. Okay, didn't take a hit. Gonna go for the jumpless jackhammer on Volvagia, so there's it's a bit easier on this version because there's a magic pixel. So
Another time, yeah, I did.
all right, so here we go. On to... Okay. Yes. Yeah. So that's why I love that, because it's a perfect pixel. You just stand there and you only have to mash down. You don't have to move left or right. Okay. I'm gonna just bury the bridges and we'll get the jar in Valley of Death. All right, 885, not bad.
Somewhat interesting story. I actually think the story's better than the gameplay. There's random encounters in the game. The influence of it.
All right, so we will not get any more level ups because at this point the combat would be too slow. So, but making our way into get the final spell, the most powerful spell, or the most powerful magic of the Thunder spell, which is required to be able to damage Thunderbird. And this version of the game does not even have a Thunderbird skip, so...
Real good as well. Let's go, son.
All right, and so fly through this bridge, we'll fly through the next bridge, refill our magic at the start of Death Mountain, or Valley of Death, and make our way to the Great Palace. So,
No matter which way you slice that screen's nasty.
it's a little bit easier on this version because we can damage the Zoras, but it's still a I just haven't practiced it enough to be comfortable doing this without the fairy spell, so. Coming up here to take an encounter. Do a single sword buffer to make this skip easier. Alright, refilling our magic, and now here we go. The lava is also animated, which is great.
Does some wonderful things. I think it was we made a bunch of big ones. He showed us the great ways. He sounds like a cat getting. Yeah.
Okay, that was not ideal, but that's fine. We're gonna make it through.
Funny.
Oh, come on. I jumped under that. Gosh, I don't want to, but I need to cast life. Of course, Max is gonna be a jerk. Of course, dang it. Okay, so took it one early, that's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna actually go into here. Okay, just to get. Oh, I was slow on moving, so there we go. Okay, there we are. We are good. I have extra lives for Great Palace. Things are going to be fine.
I'll be back again on Monday.
All right, so here we are. We get the longest load. We have to change to side A. Then we're back on side A from the title screen. Now we're loading Great Palace. And then we can actually break the binding force and get into the palace. And I have no magic and no health, so this is going to be fun.
BBC, you know the other wall that I sent it.
So, okay, made it through that spicy chicken. So you have to jump over an invisible hole there. You'll fall down on those bots if you don't.
I know during World War
But then now here we have the fun thing where they make you think you're going the wrong way because there's nothing here. It's a nice break. Take a drink. Whatever. Then here we go. Finally see another enemy, and we have another spicy chicken to deal with. So. Okay, made it through there. We have some unicorn heads here. This is a frustrating room if you do it wrong. So. Okay. Which I did it wrong. Hey. It's frustrating. Okay, did not jump down the hallway, which is good. That bird knight can be a bit of a pain. That bot can be a bit of a pain. Alright, so there is a chance I'll die on this next bird knight or spicy chicken coming up here. If I don't, then I have a chance of getting a red jar, so. Oh, I didn't have any momentum. I was really scared about that jump. Alright, so there's a 50-50 chance at a red jar up here. Okay. I'm gonna give it one more shot, just because.
go down.
Oh, whoops.
All the way over.
Just gonna try to maximize our ability. This, coming up here is our favorite enemy, Scott Bicula. And this right here is the Quantum Leap. Also, you can beam wrap breaking those bricks, or wrap breaking the bricks on that screen, which is fun. But I will be taking a death abuse. I don't like to take a death abuse if I don't have to, but with all the damage that I have taken, I don't have an option, because I need at least half of my magic bar to cast Thunder. And ideally, I like a full magic bar going into the Thunderbird fight. So, of course, you come down the hallway. Okay. Yeah, they're still not worth fighting. But that is really neat that they are worth more. Oh, okay, well, just damage boost through him. That's cool. Alright, so we will take a lava bath up here to refill magic and life. Don't get Buzz Thundered. Shout out to the Z2R crew. Speaking of Z2R, in the randomizer, this room right here is named after me. So, alright, so we come in here, I will queue up the jump spell, and I will cast the full complement of spells. And hopefully get a 1 cycle, so. I did not get, that's like a 1.5 cycle, 1 3/4 cycle. Okay, so we did that, and now on to the Dark Link fight, which Dark Link is a lot trollier in this version, so we'll see if I can get the ultimate fight plan to work, but we may have to improvise. Time stops when Link stops moving. And time. So 122.19 RTA, that is quite close to a sub 80 with the way the load times work out. But I think I got a sub 80. And so now we get the credits.
Congratulations, we got our first full round of applause for it.
So, yes,
What was that they say?
shoutouts to the Zelda 2 crew. Shoutouts specifically to Rep2369 for, he is the biggest supporter of the Famicom Disk System version of this game, and got me into specifically this version. But anyway, Zelda 2 community is amazing, and if you're at all interested, check us out. It's a super awesome speedrun. And on to the next.